Hi everybody, it's Caitlin, and today we're going to talk about character sheets, why they're important in novel writing, and how to build a basic one. Character sheets are used by a lot of writers in their novel writing processes to help them keep up with their characters. These sheets can be super simple, just a few paragraphs of text, or super intricate. Personally, I love to use an in-between sheet style. This helps me keep up with character names, attributes, personality, history, likes and dislikes, important past events, etc. So let's go over a quick character sheet that I have right here. This is a character sheet for Isaac from one of my in-work projects that will be coming out hopefully not in too long in the future. One of the first things that I really love to personally do with my character sheets is I really am very particular about my names. When I name a character, that character is named that for a reason, either because it's something that I feel their parentage would name them, something that has to do with their history, or something that has to do with a story element. In this particular case, Isaac Liam Des, the character sheet you see before you here today, I've got right down below his name, which will be the first thing on any character sheet that you're going to want to put down. Believe it or not, there are a lot of people that will often leave things out. Isaac is a Hebrew for laughs and rejoices. Liam is strong-willed, and Des is an old English, which is derived from a town. Isaac is one of the few names that I actually did not put so much thought into, but I did really love that he's very much the jokester and the one that's kind of tries to keep the group together between him, Grace, and Amelia, the three main characters of the series this book character sheet is from. He really tries to keep them together with being a bright and uplifting member of the group. And I really did love that Isaac really means he laughs or rejoices in Hebrew. I chose Liam for strong-willed because Isaac is a very strong-willed individual. That was probably the only part of the name that I really spent a lot of time on. But if you are like me and you like your characters to have really particular names for specific reasons and have meanings, then spend a lot of time in it and put that meaning down so that you don't have to go searching for it again. It's right there on the character sheet. So this character sheet is one of my a little more intricate character sheets. This is a 2-base character sheet. I did this by splitting the document. I'm not going to go over how to format documents and all of that because that is an art all in of itself. Today we're just going to be focusing on making the character sheet. So a lot of my books tend to take place in the supernatural, so you'll see me use more than just ethnicity, but in this particular one I didn't feel the need to use more than ethnicity. Most of my characters, at least at the beginning of this, are human. Isaac is human, so I didn't feel the need at that time to put it in. But in a lot of my books, if you take a look at the character sheets that are provided for my Patreons to take a look at, you'll find that I use race and ethnicity a lot in order to determine. So right here we're going to have all of the basic physical stuff that you're going to want to know about. I got the mental stuff in there too. Here we go. These are all the things you're going to want to keep track of. I sometimes like to put the signs because I love signs. Signs can tell you a lot about a personality. If you're a Pisces, if you're a Virgo, these are not absolute defining features. Someone most certainly can be born in late August, early September, and be a Virgo who's supposed to be super nitpicky about organization and work and be a complete slob. I'm kind of there. I'm a Virgo, but I'm totally not the obsessive compulsive kind of Virgo that is often depicted. Whereas a Pisces, who are usually supposed to be laid back, can be a very high-strung individual. But it can help you kind of start to think of a baseline on your character's personality. You know, if you're not sure how to mold their personality, if you need a little bit of help, definitely read up on signs, and it can give you kind of an idea where to start. The next thing is going to be the age range. I have them at 23, their height and their weight. Make sure that you do some research on your height and weight, what would be normal, especially for the body build that you have. Isaac is 6'3" and 185 pounds, which puts him a little on the leaner side. He'll have lean muscle. I have it right here, lean muscle like a swimmer. He'll have less of the bulky weightlifter stuff going on, and he'll be a little bit lanky. Whereas if I wanted him to be a little more bulky, I would search up what would be the right height to weight ratio for that. Now, if you're not specifically stating this anywhere in your book, you don't have to do this. You could just write out a quick description of their physical appearance, but you don't have to do this. When you're going in on your character sheet, make sure you take down all the basic information. I'll sometimes have extra places in there for family members and whatnot. This one, like I said, is on a medium scale. It doesn't go super in-depth. If there was a super in-depth one, I would actually have another section down below this one that would be listing off all of Isaac's, I think, 6 or 7 sisters. I have another character sheet for him that has that stuff listed. It would have his relationship with them, and how old they are, what their names are, so that I could keep up with that. And that way, if they ever do come up in the book, I have that reference sheet to pull up to keep track of this character. We have the physical description, the build, the hair. I keep grabbing that little line there. The hair, the eyes, the skin color. He's got a slightly reddish caramel because of his Cherokee, but he also has that nice tan, the natural tan that comes from his Mexican and Caucasian mixed descent. Isaac is one of my more diverse characters, being Cherokee, Mexican, and Caucasian. Not my most diverse, but when you are building characters, you need to think about where they are, what the demographic in that area is, and you also need to think about the amount of diversity that you want in your book. You certainly don't want every single one of your characters to be white Caucasian males, unless you're writing a book about how the world has ended and the only thing left there is white Caucasian males. So thinking about the diversity of your book and making sure that you're using some sort of feature in your character description to keep track of the kind of character diversity you have is definitely another important part that should be included at least in a basic character sheet. I also like to add in speech quirks, sense of humor and phrases that they like to use. I don't use the phrases that they like and the phrases they dislike too much anymore, because as you get to know your characters a little bit more, if you're writing from their perspective or writing them in a scene a lot, you'll kind of get to know how they talk. But when you're first starting a character and you're first jumping into a project, that may be pretty hard for you to do, or some people may even find that just to be one of their weaknesses. So it's definitely a good idea if you want to include it. Words and phrases, like Isaac likes to say dude a lot. Dude, dude, dude. Dude is just a word for Isaac. It is a response, it is a hello, it is an all-encompassing. I'll include things like, they're the foods that I like. He likes greasy things like pizza and spicy things, Mexican and Thai food. But he's not afraid of veggies. He doesn't like anything that's covered in gravy. Doesn't like anything made out of organs, so no fried gizzards or anything weird like that. He's also allergic to shellfish. And that is another thing. If you have a character who has an allergy, keeping track of that allergy and the different levels of that allergy. Well, if he eats something that might contain shellfish, it might make him sick the next day. But if he eats shellfish, he kind of needs to go to the hospital. Some people like to include their music taste. I don't do this quite so much anymore unless it's something that would be quirky for the character. Like a vampire that likes hard rock, or a werewolf that is obsessed with Beethoven. Something that might potentially be a joke in the book. Or that might just be an interesting character trait. So it's not really that interesting that a 23-year-old human male would like rock music and not like classical. But if you want to include those, that's definitely another option that you can include in your character sheets. Drinking for relaxation and sports are things that he likes. Doesn't like people who look down on others. He doesn't like being told what to do or being left out of things with his friends. I also have story roles included in here. He has a friend and a love interest in this book. His strengths, he's reliable, strong-willed, he's adventurous. His weaknesses, he'll overwork himself, but he can be forgetful, and he is very rash when his temper does flare. It's very rare, but it does. I would suggest including other things into this, like goals or story importance or things like that. Life experiences, this is the history section. Right here, I would usually have a much larger section than this, but I wanted to keep it, for the sake of the video, very, very short. I've redacted a couple of things that were in this one that are kind of spoilers for the book, so we're not going to go over those. But his dad left him at a young age. He's worked since he was 15. He's got a pretty troubled past, a couple of bad love choices. He's not a virgin. Not a virgin. He's been with Ami and the main character of this particular book, and Grace, their other friends, since their third year of high school. I've got another thing redacted here that I did not redact the whole thing out, but oh well. And then other information. He knows how to wire a car. He knows how to break in and enter. He's got knowledge of Cherokee lore from his dad's side of the family. And he can speak a little bit of Cherokee, English, and Spanish. So this right here, again, is a very, very basic character sheet. By no means is it encompass everything that you could need. And I would suggest that you take a look at your story and your novel and all of the things that you specifically need in that informational sheet and customize it to what you need. This is just a quick overview of what one can look like. If you like the video, please hit the like and subscribe button so you can be notified when new content is up. I post new videos every Thursday. I also have a Patreon if you'd like to check that out for sneak peeks into my work-in-progress novel, upcoming short stories, extra writing content, and more. Link in the description. Thank you for watching and have a great day.